Lachlan with the National Truck Driving School, and I want to welcome everybody to our live Tuesday night webinar. We have a terrific webinar for everybody this evening. Our host for this evening is Rob Nelson. Rob has been here at National Training for a little bit over 35 years and has helped thousands of men and women get into the trucking industry. How are you doing tonight, Rob?
I'm doing great, Andrew. Really, I'm a pleasure to be here always with all the new folks coming aboard.
And we have a very special guest tonight, Aura Kerr with Schneider National. And Schneider is all of those, well, part of their division are those orange trucks out there, and we're gonna talk a little bit about that. How you doing tonight, Aura?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Good evening to everybody who's attending.
Excellent, excellent. We got a lot of people on. Well, we still have people coming on. Rob, let's just do a little bit of housekeeping.
Okay.
Everybody on your control panel, you're going to see a little screen like this right here, and a dashboard. And really what I want you to kind of take a look at is number 2 is this little grab tab. And you see the 2 arrows there. If you click on that arrow, it will take it away so that you can see the rest of your desktop. So it'll get everything out of your way, but it will also leave you a bunch of little buttons there where you can toggle in and out. Number 3 is like a picture-in-a-picture type of a screen. Number 4 is the to raise your hand. And I'm going to ask everybody to go ahead and raise their hand. This will let us know that you can hear us okay. Excellent, excellent. I see Joe Gomez has just come in. Bring him over to our side. Excellent. And I'm going to put those hands down. Now, for any reason you want to get a hold of myself or Rob or Aura tonight, just go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll unmute your microphone, and you can ask your question. As you can see, number 5 has a little microphone icon. And whether you're on the telephone or you're using a microphone and speakers, there's going to be a red line through it. I have everybody in a listen-only mode. If I open up all the microphones at one time, we get a lot of static and a lot of backfeed. So we're going to use the hand, number 4. If you want to open your microphone, we'll do one microphone at a time. There's an audio pane if you don't have a microphone and you want to participate and you want to talk or maybe ask Aura questions live about Schneider National and kind of get the answer tonight. By all means, you can also call in. You go to the audio mode. You can click on telephone and follow the step-by-step directions. There's a questions panel, and pretty much Rob and I, we use this as a chat board. So if you want to speak with one of your representatives, if your representative is on, he may chat with you through the questions board. And you can always write back by number 8, putting your answer in there and hitting send. There's also webinar details. If you have friends or a family member that you think maybe should get online and listen, I'll give you a chance to go ahead and make your phone calls, let them know that Schneider National is online. This webinar is for everybody. It's for students looking to go to school. It's for people that already have jobs in the trucking industry, have a CDL license. Maybe you're working for another company and you're not happy. Come and listen to what other companies have to say. So it's open to everybody, this webinar tonight. Quick overview of what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about National Training, who we are, what we do, and how we do it. We're going to talk about the trucking industry, and this is where we're going to find out a lot about Schneider National. We're going to talk about the truck driving school and how to get a CDL license. But most importantly, we're going to talk about what it is that we may be able to do for you tonight. Rob, let's start with you. Let's start out with who we are.
Sure. Andrew, this is when we started, of course, back in '78, and we've always been a proprietary post-secondary vocational education institution. big thing with us, we've always been committed to providing a strong curricula. The programs emphasize the practical, usable skills, and these are blended with a relevant general education foundation. We've got a caring environment with personal attention and close faculty-student interaction. And of course, one of the very few schools in this country that have the open door admission. And I think you can talk about
now, Rob, when we talk about open door admission, national training is a hybrid program where our students can do the book work or the classroom work at home on their computer. They can start any day of the week, any time of the month, day or night, but they're going to do all of their hands-on training in Green Cove Springs, Florida, near Jacksonville. And the real big difference is going to be the number of hours on the equipment. I'm going to go into that in just a minute.
And of course, you know, what we're looking at now, this is the gem, and we're even going to see some larger pictures there in a little bit, but this is our 1.25 mile roadway, the roadway that the students get on the very first day that they're in training. When they finish their book work at home and at their own pace, this is where they're going to start driving, getting the shifting down together. That's our backing and docking pad that Andrew's going around. If you look to the left, right from there, you'll see the little slots where it represents backing into the docking platforms of your trucking industry. Of course, and then we're going to go over here. We've got areas here where we're going to do pre-tripping, starting, hooking up, and docking, and so forth. And there's straight line backing, parallel parking. We've got everything right together. And we've been doing this since 1978, of course. No wonder the companies like Schneider and some of these big companies come to our school.
Well, Rob, I think one of the things to point out is national training was built to be, this 350 acres, was built to be a truck driving school. It's not like mom and pop truck driving school.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we see them, and I've seen them all over the country, Andrew, and you have too, where they're underneath viaducts, they're in parking lots, old cement work plants. I mean, it's just this was built as a professional driving, getting together and understanding the terminology and background of the trucking industry, and everything is right there. Now, of course, the DETC, we're a nationally accredited distance education and training council.
Now, Rob, aren't all of the schools accredited?
Oh, boy, Andrew, they wish they were. No, not at all. Very, very few. I think there's around 2 in this country. But that's why I've been here, I guess, 35 years. And we're fully licensed by the Florida's Commission for Independent Education. We've got the standards for being a top-notch school in this country, of course. And our students come from all over, not just here in the Florida area, of course. And then, of course, we're under the guidelines of the Dante's programs, which means that we're approved for training of veterans in all phases of it. And we're licensed by the Department of Highway and Safety Motor Vehicles. So put all these things into one big particular area there, and you can see why national training is a top school. This means, of course, always value and employer recognition, and it's so important in this day and age. When you come out of school, you go to work, and that's our key ingredient.
You know, Rob, as you pointed out, a lot of our students are active service members or veterans. Schneider National tonight also has a very, very huge veterans program that we're going to talk about.
It's a wonderful program, too, I tell you.
Okay, why students travel from all over the country to attend national training? Our program is comprehensive. It's very well-rounded. We're not like the mom-and-pop schools or the Monday schools or, you know, even the CDL mills. None of those schools may be what they seem. They only teach you one thing. They teach you to pass that initial road test. Some people think about, you know, going to the community colleges. Sometimes their programs are less expensive, but they take a lot longer to complete. And, you know, the bottom line there is you're losing lots of valuable pay going through a program like that. We offer a high-value education at a very reasonable tuition in the shortest amount of time. We're nationally recognized. We're state-of-the-art training facilities, state-of-the-art equipment. We have the most up-to-date training program because of that online portion and then hands-on. Whenever the rules change, we're able to change them instantly on the online course. Convenient financing packages. Rob, I don't think we've ever turned anybody away based upon finance as long as they had a willing and a desire to go to work.
It's so true, Andrew. I've never seen a student turn down on those conditions. No.
So we have the most hands-on training in the shortest period of time. We have training above and beyond just getting that CDL license, holding the steering wheel between the two white lines. We have a very, very successful placement assistance program. And many of the trucking companies recruit from National training. At National, it's not just about passing the CDL test. We really actually teach you to drive the truck so you can pass any test. Robin, I know I've heard you tell students every day, you go out there, you do your pre-trip. Every day is a test, isn't it?
Every day is a test because you're the guy, you're the honcho out there. You're the big, you're the one who's doing it. You got to be careful and you got to do it right.
The right training means job security. At National Training is where the trucking companies come for new drivers. And tonight, I want to welcome Ora Kerr with Schneider National. And Schneider has been on quite a few times. We have many graduates that have went ahead and gone to work with Schneider National. We also have a lot of veterans that have gone to Schneider for a couple of particular reasons, and I think we're going to get right into that. Ora, you want to first give us a little background about Schneider National?
Absolutely. In terms of our background, we are the nation's largest privately held trucking company. We've been in business for over 76 years. So when you think of long-term stability, a company that's not going anywhere, that's going to keep growing, we've definitely proven ourselves in the industry to be, at the top of our game. We are, like I said, a privately held company, so you get that family feeling within a larger organization that's going to provide you with the opportunities that you're looking for. We were founded in 1935 by Al Schneider, who just had a truck and a dream, and, years later, we're a very successful multi-million-dollar company, so go Al Schneider. We are nationwide, spanning across the entire U.S. We also have locations in Canada, China, and Mexico as well.
That is phenomenal. I was in Puerto Rico and saw Schneider trucks in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm going on vacation on the 19th to Puerto Rico, and I know we have a facility there, so I'm probably going to pop by and just see what our Puerto Rico operations look like.
we had offices there for a long time, and the roads there. I don't know how some of these truck drivers do it. How tiny those roads there are.
I look forward to seeing it. One of the things we're also known for is our extensive list of Fortune 500 companies. So we do work with some of the top companies within the industry as far as retail, food and beverage, manufacturing. So again, just going back to our stability and the wide array of accounts that we're able to offer our drivers to participate and work on. So obviously, like any other company, we do have the Schneider way, and our main 2 points are safety and integrity. Those are the 2 points that we run and operate the company off of. Safety, for obvious reasons. We like to think that you would drive your truck as if your mother was driving next to you, and integrity, just doing the right thing when you know it's right. That's the best way. As you mentioned, some of these drivers, this really is an opportunity to have a career of your own and really maintain and manage yourself to a certain degree. So we want to make sure our drivers have that certain level of integrity.
Okay, so here's just Schneider by the numbers, and when I looked at these numbers, trailers on the road almost 30,000, containers in the fleet almost 15,000, loads hauled per day 11,000 loads a day. I couldn't imagine how many gallons of gas or diesel Schneider buys.
I can't imagine either, but there aren't too many things that are guaranteed in life, and I tell people all the time, I guarantee you, if you hop on a highway, you'll pass a Schneider truck. Put me to the test, hop on your local highway, and I bet you pass a Schneider truck within that time.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of like you. I travel pretty much all over, and I just I see Schneider. There's just trucks you're going to see every time.
Yeah, it really gives our drivers that family feeling. When you're on the road, you know that you're going to pass another Schneider driver or another family member, and you stop at a truck stop. You guys can engage in conversation, and it really breeds that familiarity and that family feeling that Al created back in 1935. We do have operating centers across the country. Our operating centers, we are one of the only companies that I know of that do this for our drivers. They're 24 hours, so they offer cafeterias, they have personal showers available, we even have washer dryers available, loaner cars, so if you're in an area that you're not familiar with and you have some errands to run, take out one of the cars, we'll gas it up, bring it back. So these are really centers created for convenience for our drivers. Instead of having to stop at a local truck stop and pay for those services, again, you can feel right at home, stopping at a Schneider facility and not having to pay for any of those services.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I mean, there's a lot of them there on that list.
Sure.
Yes. And we're constantly growing, so more to add. Again, this just goes over our core values, safety first, integrity, respect for all, and excellence in all we do, which of course is, I think, something that we all believe in.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the driving opportunities. When you first came on a few months ago, and I look at that intermodal tanker and oil fields. That's something I don't get with the other companies, and we'll go into that. Let's start with the over-the-road first, though.
Sure. As traditional trucking, we offer over-the-road covering all 48 states. Typically, over-the-road schedule will look like 2 to 3 weeks out with 3 to 4 days home. It offers the most amount of miles. So, typically our over-the-road drivers are the guys that want to just run, and make as much money as possible. Your first year, you can earn anywhere up to $58,000 depending upon your location.
Wow. This is kind of too cool also. 95, no touch.
Absolutely. And again, it just goes back to our stability, steady, consistent freight. 95% no touch, working for these Fortune 500 companies. Again, typically 5 days off in a 28-day period.
Very nice. Okay, plus you have, paid orientation and tuition reimbursement.
That's
We
good.
do.
We like to hear that.
How does tuition reimbursement work?
We offer tuition reimbursement up to $6,000, including getting your hazmat. I always like to say the fine print is you have to be hired on to Schneider within 60 days of graduation. So keep that in the back of your mind. Sometimes drivers like to go through school and take some time off before they hit the road. Just make sure it's within that 60-day window. We pay it back $150 per month until the full amount has been met.
Well, and our program isn't even $6,000, so Schneider basically would pick up all of their training if they stayed there long enough.
Absolutely. And our paid orientation includes your housing and your meals when you're in training, and none of that we expect back. I know some of the companies may, make you pay for that once you start running for the company. That's all costs that we assume in our faith in you on coming on board and being a great driver.
Now, or if a student wanted to, do the tuition reimbursement, would you pay that right back to the lender?
We can. We can pay it directly back to the lender if the student chooses.
Very nice. Let's talk about team driving.
Absolutely. Our team drivers, we have a great matching program. I always say we match.com you. So, if you have a team member that's ready to come on board, we'll definitely get you guys in training together, get you rolling together. We also have the ability to, you fill out a questionnaire, they fill out a questionnaire, and then we can match you guys together in a partnering system that we offer. Our teams average anywhere between 5,000 to 6,000 miles per week, and based on your location, as you see here, you can earn up to $70,000 per year. What really makes our teams unique is we split the mileage in half, not your pay per mile. So some companies may split the mileage pay. We actually split the miles. So if you run 6,000 miles a week, you each will get paid whatever your set per mile is times 3,000 miles. So again, the 98% no-touch freight is to travel travel the country with the convenience and company of a teammate with you. And again, this just goes over our team matching program. A lot of our team positions have sign-on bonuses as well, up to $10,000. So a great opportunity for someone who's looking to come on board in a team.
Okay, so I notice online here we have a couple of husband and wife teams, and I'm already getting a question: is can they train together?
Absolutely, they can train together. We provide that option as well.
Wow. Okay, there's very few companies that actually allow that. I think it's you and I think maybe Covenant. The only ones I've heard that actually do that. That's huge. Okay. The team mentoring program.
Yep, so when you come on board, once you go through orientation, we will pair you with another team, and they're really just there as your go-to team. If you have any questions on how to coordinate your meals, how to coordinate drive time, what should I bring to make sure that we're both taken care of, you can call that team, ask them some of these questions, and these are seasoned team members, so you won't get anybody that's directly out of training like you are. You're going to get a team that's been running with us for a while, and they really know the ins and outs of having and running a successful team operation.
Wow, that's really kind of cool as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little pen pal buddy.
Yep.
Contrary to popular belief, we do offer regional positions, so you can come in over the road team or regional. Our regional positions usually operate within a 500 to 600 mile radius of whichever operating center is in your area. You're home weekly. Again, the freight is very steady. We still work with those top 500 companies when it comes to our regional positions, but I really love this regional opportunity because a lot of times you'll hear drivers say, oh, you have to pay your dues and run over the road for 2 to 3 years before you can come home weekly or get a local position. And that's simply just not true with Schneider. We actually allow you to come directly into a regional position that can get you home on a weekly basis as a recent graduate.
Wow, and that's kind of cool, and the money there looks pretty nice too, 48 to 54.
Absolutely.
On the location, and then continuing training, and again, tuition reimbursement keeps popping up like that. Dedicated routes. Then, or could you kind of go into the difference between a regional and a dedicated driver?
Sure. So for our dedicated position, you're actually working for a specific client. You're specifically running for that particular Fortune 500 company. So you're becoming very familiar with the lanes, the routes that you're going to take. Typically, you're home weekly. Sometimes you're home every other day. It's usually a regional route, so again, it's probably a 500 to 600 mile radius. But really the great thing about the dedicated accounts is you become very familiar with that customer and the very consistent freight. Versus the company driver regional, you're just operating within a territory, but you're still running and hauling for multiple clients and multiple customers. Dedicated means exactly that. You are dedicated to one particular customer for us.
Very neat. Now we're going to go into some places that we haven't been before with a lot of the other companies that come and visit with us on Tuesday nights. Is the intermodal world.
Yes. So our intermodal positions are really just a fancier way of saying containers. We haul the 20 and 40-foot containers. You have to have your TWIC card. A lot of the times it's daily time at home or it's weekly. The majority of the intermodal positions have the weekends off because a lot of the ports are closed on the weekends. So again, it offers a lot of home work balance that a lot of drivers are looking for. 75% of the loads are drop and hook, and we still offer that paid training on any new, intermodal is one of those industries that continuously changes. They're always looking for ways how can we ship more products, how can we ship it more effectively. So we're always offering that continued training on the intermodal side. And you get big money. So not only do you run short routes, it's usually a regional route, you get home frequent, and you can earn anywhere between $42,000 to $60,000 a year.
Very nice. And again, we haven't talked a lot about the equipment at Schneider, but I mean, a lot of new trucks coming in, aren't there?
Absolutely. We just updated our fleet with the new Cascadia, the new Freightliners, and typically our intermodal and our team and our over-the-road positions typically get first dibs at the newer equipment, but we don't keep our trucks any longer than 4 or 5 years. And now here's my favorite out of all time is our tanker opportunities. We actually have the largest tanker fleet in the industry, so something that we're very proud of. We offer full training. So if you've thought about tanker but not quite sure if it's something you can come directly into, we will fully train you on how to handle the surge reaction, how to handle the pump. It's a very extensive training, and I guarantee you'll feel very comfortable operating that tanker once you finish. We offer over-the-road, team, regional, local. The sky is the limit when it comes to our tanker positions. Again, with the home time, we offer a very flexible schedule. So you usually get about 6 preferred days off that you can coordinate. You can kind of tell us how you want to take those days off, and we'll make sure that it happens for you. And again, this is where some of the big money comes, especially for our recent graduates. This is our top earning opportunity for recent graduates, earning anywhere between $38,000 to $65,000 a year, depending again on that experience and that location. Very steady freight. Again, we're working with those same customers. So you really do enjoy, as they say, the tanker yanker lifestyle.
Yeah, I have a graduate of mine that went with Schneider 4 or 5 years ago, and he just loves it. He works 6 days a week, and he makes $65,000 a year, 2 or 3
Yeah.
trips. I think he told me Port Everglades to Naples or Fort Myers like 2 or 3 times a day. He's loving it.
It's an amazing opportunity for drivers. Tanker drivers are considered kind of the premier drivers in the industry, so it's a great opportunity to get some bragging rights under your belt and to make some great money while doing it.
And then, of course, that tuition reimbursement.
And the
Okay, now oil fields, and this is kind of a new area with all the fracking and all the different things happening in the different parts of the country.
Absolutely. We are very involved in the oil field work, even offering relocation on some of the opportunities. So if you're looking to, kind of set your feet in a new place and want assistance moving it and have it off as soon as you get there, this is a perfect opportunity. A lot of our oil field workers are either home daily, home every other day, and they're just moving small, going from oil site to oil site, hauling products. Weekly paychecks, and really oil field workers can make over $65,000 a year. So this is a great earning income potential, hauling that oil and hazardous materials at the oil site. Again, home daily or home every other day. We have new opportunities popping up all over the country. So, if you live in Florida or wherever you live, we may have oil field opportunities currently, or as I mentioned, we'd be willing to relocate you to those opportunities. Again, it's one of our fastest growing opportunities. We had no idea it would take off the way it did once we got involved. So it's really become kind of our bread and butter at this point. Again, we'll do the continuing training and tuition reimbursement.
Very nice.
This is the box report
Let's
tonight.
talk about the benefits of that.
The serious
When it
situation.
comes to our benefits, we really offer the best benefits out there. The one that I always like to highlight is our 401k. So it's a matching 401k through Wells Fargo. Very great investment options, high risk, low risk. As a driver, you can start contributing on day one No need to wait a 60 or 90-day period. You start contributing on day one. Company match kicks in after 60 days. You contribute 1 to 4%. We match you 50 cents on the dollar. You contribute 5 to 6%. We match you dollar for dollar. And it only has a 3-year, 100% investment time. That's huge. If you've ever worked for a company, a lot of companies have a 5 to 7-year investment period. You know, I'm always a little jealous of our drivers because as an office associate, we only tapped out at 50 cents on the dollar. So this is a program that Schneider has gone over and beyond to offer our drivers that retirement security, you know, matching you the dollar for dollar, along with our health benefits that we have, military leave. We're very military friendly. If there's a drill that you have to attend, go ahead. We'll make sure we work it in your schedule. We offer a passenger program. So a lot of great benefits also come along with our great driving opportunities.
Very good, very good. Okay, the equipment and technology, we talked about pretty much your trucks are really no more than 5 years old, and I think a lot of them are a lot newer than that. But they also have state-of-the-art equipment inside of them.
We do. We pride ourselves on being a forward-thinking technology company when it comes to our equipment. So we use Qualcomm for our e-logging. We just updated our Qualcomm with the new feature, places of interest. So no matter where you are, you can find a hotel, restaurant, parking that's trucker-friendly. We also have the awesome technology of On Guard, which lets you know and slows you down when you're getting too close to the vehicle in front of you. So we try to keep up to date with the technology that's going to be safe for our drivers, as well as make our drivers' life on the road a little bit easier and more convenient.
Very nice. Well, there's part of the fleet.
Yes.
135. 10,000. Those trucks are brand new. Wow. And of course, you know, there's lots of new rules and regulations and things like that. And Schneider, do they have
APUs in our trucks?
Yeah, APUs?
We do. We just updated our fleet with the new Cascadia that has the APU built into the truck, so yes.
Okay. And, you know, for the people online, you know, a lot of the, you know, that has to do with idling, and, you know, some states it's outlawed to idle now, and the APUs will keep your air conditioner going and a couple other things. Okay, National Training and Schneider work together to provide our students with the best opportunity for success in the trucking industry. For more information, you can either call National Training or Schneider National at 1-800-488-7364, and we will put you right in touch with Aura Kerr. Let's open up the phone lines, Aura, and see if there's questions. If you have a question for Aura, please raise your hand, and we'll open up the microphones one at a time. Okay, Bill from Queens, he wants to know how the military program works at Schneider.
Absolutely. So we do have a apprenticeship program. You have to have been released within the last 12 months, or if you're in the reserves of the Guard. You also will need to have GI Bill benefits left for post 9/11, and we only use 12 months. It's a 12-month program. It's considered on-the-job training, so there's nothing in addition that you have to do besides your day-to-day activities. Depending upon your benefits that you have left, on top of your Schneider salary, you can earn up to an additional $1,200.
Okay, so that's almost like $1,000 a month. And then if you know, if they're using post 9/11, they have 36 months of benefits. They can still use the other 24 months for school programs?
You got it. We only use 12 months of benefits.
Wow. You know, so, and you know, what I want you to kind of think about here is, you know, if your children are too young to go ahead and pass your GI Bill and you're not going to go to school, this is an excellent way to get the money out of your GI Bill.
Absolutely. And, really, I love our commitment to the military. We hire anywhere between 50 to 60 vets a month. That's just in North Carolina and South Carolina alone. So you can only imagine what our nationwide numbers are. We're very committed. We attend the Yellow Ribbon events. So, that's something that we partner with the VA office, and we said we're going to go over beyond again and offer our vets this apprentice program and this opportunity to really earn some extra money and take advantage of their bills that they have if they don't plan on, like you mentioned, using it for education purposes or if their kids are too young. So I definitely applaud Schneider for their commitment and support of the military.
Absolutely, and we share that commitment as well. Neil Thagard has a question. He says, I have a CDL with all the endorsements except hazmat. I have not driven for hire in 20 years, but have kept the license clean record. What's required? Full course or an abbreviated one?
I didn't hear the last part. Did he ask for a cost?
He wants to know, does he need to take the full course or an abbreviated one, which I think he's thinking of maybe a 40-hour lesson. Yeah.
That's really something we leave up to the driver and the school, the instructor to determine. If you feel like, you haven't driven in 20 years, but prior to that you drove for 20, and you can hop in a truck and pick up like you never left off, and you may need just a refresher course to catch up on any DOT regulations or any new technology, we really ask that you sit down with the school, discuss what you remember, and then you guys work together to determine. We don't give you a specific number of hours that you need because it's really going to vary and be different for each particular driver. So the best I could tell you, Neil, is, sit down with Andrew, sit down with one of the instructors, let them know what you remember, what you don't remember. They can kind of compare that on the current training that they're doing and what you'll need to have to get you caught up to speed. And as long as we get that certificate from National Training stating that you've completed X number of hours and you're ready to go, we'll fully accept it.
Yeah. Neil, probably what we would do with you is you definitely want to come in and speak to a rep, but we have an accelerated program that's actually 190 hours, and that probably would cover you very, very more than enough.
We also offer tuition reimbursement on those refresher recertification courses as well. So we would reimburse you for that course as well, Neil.
Excellent. Okay, terrific. Any more questions? Go ahead and raise your hand. I'd like to get some... William, no questions tonight, William? William William is actually up in Tallahassee, and I believe he's going to look to do some team driving.
Perfect.
And I believe his question was last week about training together. So that's something that you guys do. Could you go into a little bit of detail? They graduate from here. They get their ticket to their operating the service center. What happens next?
So after they graduate, it's usually about a 7-day period between the time that they apply to the Schneider to the time that we can get you signed up for orientation. Typically, I usually recommend that you apply about a week before you graduate. So once you finish, you can hop right into orientation. We pay for you to get to your orientation. We pay for your hotel accommodation. We pay for 2 meals a day, breakfast and lunch. Usually you're done training by 5:30, so you're on for dinner. You're on your own for dinner. And then you also get paid a daily rate depending upon where you live and what training facility you go to. So usually your first couple of days up to a week in training is orientation. We do what's called worst case scenario training on our simulators. So we're going to put you through every possible condition. We're going to, blow your steering wheel tire. We're going to jackknife you. We're going to throw a couple of deers in front of you. We're really going to simulate those real-life situations that we don't necessarily want to do in a real truck. You'll do that the first couple of days. And then typically, depending upon the division that you choose, tanker, over the road, dedicated, whatever it may be, you'll usually spend about 2 weeks over the road with an actual trainer where you're doing 80% of the driving and really using that trainer as a crutch to help you in any uncomfortable situations or to make sure that we get your questions answered.
Excellent, excellent. And no deer were hurt in any of those actions.
No.
No.
Like disclaimer. They're all electronic ears.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, and Clifton says we answered all the questions about the teams. That's William and Clifton are together. William says that Ms. Curry.
I just want to ask Aura one thing. This is Rob Nelson. Aura, I don't remember, you have also bonus incentives based on performance besides salary, right?
We do. We offer a quarterly bonus. That's decided upon you and your manager. It's a safety and a merit bonus. Typically, it's going to depend what that bonus is on the, based on the account that you're assigned to. But they are quarterly bonuses. So every 3 months, you will have the opportunity to earn additional income on top of your mileage pay. Great question.
Great. Okay.
Matt wants to know if they do direct deposit.
We do. We do direct deposit. Again, we consider ourselves very technology advanced and fast forward, so we will absolutely do direct deposit.
Great. Well, Aura, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. It was a really great, a lot of great information tonight. So thank you so much for coming on. And, of course, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, Aura, they can call us at 1-800-488-7364, and we will certainly pass that along to you. I look forward to seeing you at an open house soon.
Absolutely, and as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I love working with you guys, and I definitely look forward to getting down there and going to an open house. So I will definitely give you a call, and we can put something on the calendar.
Yeah, please do give me a call. I got a couple of things that I want to run by you.
Okay, you got it, Andrew.
Thanks, Aura.
Good night,
You're
Aura.
welcome. You guys take care. Have a great night.
Okay, thank you.
Rob, I get this question all the time. Why drive a truck for a living? And I think Aura
answered about everything, didn't she? Yeah, great,
so much
great
of it, and I mean, amazing the amount of money that Schneider pays its drivers.
Yeah, I always wanted to know what company that $65,000 guy down in Tampa and between on the east and west coast made, what company it was. But now I know, Andrew.
Yeah, huge demand for drivers equals job security. We talk about the driver shortage, Rob. 3, 4, 500,000, depending upon what you read in the newspaper or in the trucking magazines. Certainly, there is no shortage of people applying to become a professional truck driver. But where the rubber meets the road is selecting the actual qualified drivers out of this large pool of people, which is important. The older generation is retiring faster than replacements can take the wheel. The number one reason that people want to go out and drive a truck for a living, we've done the survey after survey, the number one reason is the adventure. They get to see the country, and they get paid to do it. I really thought it was going to be this one. They make big money. They can make
Andrew,
big...
when you come back to it, the 1 and 2, making big money, but it's while you're making money, it's not a 9-to-5 job. You know what I'm saying? You're doing something that's a little bit different, and the companies have to compensate you for it. That's what it is.
Then life insurance was a big thing. Dental, vision, the prescription plans, disability insurance, and then health insurance, not just for the driver, but for the family was huge. Freedom of the boss's heavy hand. You talk about this all the time. It might have somebody else's, it might be Schneider's name on the side of the truck, but you're the operator.
You're the operator, that's right.
Okay? And then, of course, the disability insurance. Here's the office from the outside of the truck. Okay, a lot of people don't realize that, like you said, you're out for sometimes 2-3 weeks at a time. This is your office. and you might wake up every morning in a different city or in a different state, a different skyline.
That's right.
Okay? A lot of people have never been up inside of these trucks, though, Rob.
Well, you know, Andrew, that's what the companies do. They try to make it as comfortable as possible for you because you are out on the road for that period of time. Now, on the left-hand side, you're looking at a little bit older vehicle than what she's showing, but there it is. Look at that, the size of that bed inside. It's just comfort zone in there. And on the left side,
this is a little different than when you started, 40 years ago.
Yeah, sitting in that coffin behind this driver's seat, the old days, the old trucks, yes, for sure.
Yeah, so times have certainly changed.
They certainly have. Look at the tufted ceilings inside, it's the retention of sound, the little cubbies for all your different things there, your TV, your controls there on the right-hand side, Andrew, right there where you can control the air and the heat different from what your driver can on the left up in the front. And, of course, there you got your microwave is probably hidden down there, but also you had a refrigerator. So let's go up into the turnaround seat here. Now, it's a little different vehicle, but this one would do the same thing. Your seat just switches right around, and you can see that fold-down table. You can sit there and do your work, your book work or whatever, read, and there's your TV set up in there, and, of course, your full-size bed, and you're up there above. You've got some other, I think that is a microwave up there. I'm not sure, but it's a movement. Different places, they have them in different places.
Well, what I like about this, Rob, is it's 3 different trucks, and here's an older one up here.
Exactly, with that wraparound dash, which is really comfortable because it just surrounds you. And even though it's an older vehicle, look how comfortable it is. When we say older, probably 4 or 5 years older, that's about it. They don't go any older than that. But it's really a layout. It's a nice layout. Now, Andrew's going to show you one that he likes, of course, which is the Volvo.
This is the Volvo. And I like this truck, Rob, for one reason. It's like driving a motor home down.
Sure is.
It's like sitting in a little coffee shop here, the way they got it set up.
Yeah.
I got a picture with the bunk up and a picture with the bunk down. And it's just a nice, comfortable place to work.
Yeah.
You're going to pull over for the night. You can go in there, watch TV.
I love that little pull-out sink over there on the right-hand side.
Yeah, look, isn't that wild?
Yeah, that's neat.
How many people online with us tonight are thinking about maybe going into business for yourself, maybe owning your own truck? Go ahead and raise your hand if you think about maybe doing that. Think about this, maybe an international. If anybody's interested in operating their own truck, okay, here's an international. Take a look at the dashboard on this truck, okay, all with the diamond plate, the backlit gauges. Schneider's very proud of their technology. Here they got the Qualcomm built right into the dash, all the backlit gauges. Take a look in the back, wood floors. You can make this leather any color you want. It's like, pimp my truck type of a deal. He's even got his
outlets there.
Power inverters, yeah. Okay. Let's talk about, this is new.
Yeah.
Let's talk about over-the-road driving.
Andrew, this is where most of our students coming out of school will go into because it pays the most money. Even, for example, that you have the layout of all different companies, and most of them, just like she said, between $35,000, $38,000, between that, $55,000, $60,000 you can make right up front. It's a great pay scale. The bonus incentives are always there. Top-of-the-line equipment, tuition reimbursement, and the advancement opportunities. You can go into many different things from the company, even if you want. And the serious money and benefits is combined with a whole new lifestyle. It is a new lifestyle because, like we said, you're the boss. You're the controller. Do the job, you get paid well for it. Now, there's a regional drive, and there's the guys who want to be home on the weekends or at least 1 or 2 days a week, and they haul all kinds of freight. And, of course, this remains primarily, it's in a specified area, so you pretty much know where you're going to be, and you're set up for a different run. Now, that can be very close to regional or dedicated. Weekly home time, great pay, steady runs, company benefits, and usually tuition reimbursement for most of these carriers, even though it's, like she said, or it's dedicated or regional. Now, of course, there's some guys who want to be home every night. Well, we have those jobs too, and that requires multiple stops every day, and some jobs require loading and unloading. Mostly it's going to be unloading. You're going to be handling the freight, but the jobs require special loading and unloading skills, of course, which you'll be learning with the company. The pay and the benefits are sometimes less than the regional or over the road, but of course you do get a pretty good deal on that. There's all different kinds, Andrew. Certainly.
Now, Rob, when we talk about pay, Schneider is one of the higher paying
very much so, really. Very much
people
so,
that we talk to. I always tell my students somewhere between 25 cents and 45 cents a mile in an entry level. And not so much to look at the cents per mile, but look at the number of miles.
Exactly.
And most companies will offer 2,500 to 6,000 miles per week. So if you're getting paid 30 cents a mile, and you're doing 3,000 miles a week as a solo driver, that's $900.
$900, and we're not counting the bonuses and also the benefits. So
yeah, so if you're making $700, $800, $900, $1,000 a week as a solo driver, pretty darn good money.
Excellent.
If you're a team driver, you can double and even triple that amount of money. That is huge. Now, the Department of Labor, they don't like to do the cents per mile. They want to break everybody down to what would it be hourly. And they're showing here 1983 an hour of $41,000 a year. Take a look at this, grocery and related, $43,900. So pretty good money. Now, DOT qualifications, Rob, Department of Transportation, in charge of all of these different things. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Andrew, this hasn't changed for years and years. It's always been 21 years of older, and no maximum age. And the maximum age is really true, as long as you can pass that DOT physical and drug screen, of course. Read, write, and understand the English language. That's very important. Background that applies him or her to possess a CDL. And we want to make sure that you eat all your broccoli, of course, to be able to do all these things. Employers and national training have additional qualifications, which we follow very closely.
Now, Rob, our qualifications might even be a little bit more stringent than the industry, and that has a lot to do with being an accredited school and having that placement assistance that we offer.
Very important, Andrew. We want to make sure when the student comes out that they are employable, and this is so important in this industry. The driving record we look at very closely with the representative and yourself, the criminal background, the physical abilities, the administrating of the drug screen, watched over it. Most important, we want to know that your intensity to succeed. That would be the school motto, really, of any good school. We ensure you can benefit from this training before you start. And again, are you employable? 3 little words, but they're awful important.
Yeah, the ability to benefit, for sure. Now, let me talk a little bit about our course itself. And as I said right at the beginning of the webinar tonight, our program is very unique. It's a hybrid program. Our program, we do all of the book work or the classroom work at home on the computer, and then we come for 3 weeks where we do all of the hands-on training. So we offer superb flexibility. Students study at their own pace. Students can work and complete much of that classroom requirement right from the comfort of their own home, right on their own computer, laptop. I even have students now doing them on the, on iPads. Okay, there's no sitting in a classroom for days on end, wishing, when am I going to get up in the truck? You're up in the truck the very first day. Now, Rob, here at National, we also cover all of the left-out subjects that you're not going to get in the Monday schools or the mom-and-pop truck driving schools or the CDL mills. Things like cooling systems, brakes, tires and wheels, electrical systems, load securement, map reading, fuel and fuel systems, principles of a diesel engine, lubricants and lubrication systems, principles of transmissions and differentials. Really, we're going over the truck bumper to bumper, and sooner or later that truck will break down, won't it, Rob?
It sure will. Yeah.
And the quicker you can get that dispatcher to get you help, and the right parts and the right tools that they need, the quicker you're back making money.
That's right. That's what he needs, of course.
Now, when we talk about the action at the school happens day 1. It's 3 weeks of residence or hands-on training. Rob, just like you said, we start out on that 1.25 mile highway where our students are going to go around and around the track. They're going to work on the backing pad. They're going to do parallel parking. They're going to do straight backing, alley docking. They're going to be able to do their pre-trip inspection, their coupling, their uncoupling. And then by day 2, maybe day 3, they're going out and driving the city, state, federal, and local highways. Here we go. Here's an aerial view of that 1.25 mile highway.
Yes. Andrew, it is a gem. And all over the country, if you have to find a school like this with a 1.25 mile, 2-lane highway where the student gets to run on this the very first day and get the feel of the equipment, get used to pulling a 70-foot vehicle, get the shifting down nice and smooth,
Well,
use West Coast mirrors, you know?
You know what I like about it, Rob, is we have a lot of people at home, and their families, are worried about them going out and driving these big tractor trailers.
That's absolutely right. We take that for granted sometimes, but they do worry. We may not think about it, but it's a concern. And
this is just as important for the family at home, knowing that your loved one who's going to go out and drive trucks for a living,
right.
They can stop a 70-foot tractor trailer before they ever go out onto a highway or
we watch over them very closely. We want to make sure that they feel comfortable in it. But Andrew, just going back there, I just want to say one thing too. We give the CDL testing right there at our training site.
Yeah, that is true.
With a Class A license, and that's the important part. That's why the companies are there. Hey, let's face it.
Yep.
That's why they're there.
You bring up a good point. You bring up a good point, Rob. We don't talk about, most of our instructors are third party.
Testers.
Florida testers.
Right.
So as long as you have Florida residency, or you're from another state and you do domicile in Florida, you can test and come home with the CDL in your pocket.
Absolutely.
I think the one thing that really amazes me, though, here I am, first day truck driving school. I'm up in the truck and I'm driving.
Right.
Here's an instructor. Day 1. They're going over every one of those gauges, know what all of those different air tanks are doing and why they're there, and why do you have to monitor them. Our trucks, Rob, I think we have one of the coolest fleets of trucks when it comes to a driving school.
And the reasons are, Andrew, simply we don't know when you start out who you're going to be driving for, but at the meantime, we can give you a whole adage of many different carriers, what they're using. For example, on the left, you got your day cab. It doesn't have the big sleeper on it. And then we have the sleeper cabs, of course, and the conventional condos, which are to the right are real large, and the day cabs, of course, and the cab over engines that we use. And lots of companies still use those. So we're going to go through all of them. They all have a little bit different transmissions and a different feel, but we want to make sure you feel comfortable in all of them because, again, it just opens the door a little bit wider for you when you leave the school.
Rob, one of the things I'm most proud of is our graduates, and a lot of people online tonight may have been told about this program by one of our past graduates, and our biggest lead base is our referrals from our graduates. So there's no better compliment at all than that. And, our students go to school Monday to Friday from 7 in the morning to 5:30 in the afternoon. We do class pictures every the Wednesday or Thursday before graduation. Everybody has a picture, and you really get to bond with the people in your class. And these are going to be other drivers you're going to see out on the road working for all different types of companies. So you start out with your own network right from school. Let's take a look at what some of our graduates are saying about national training. Let me introduce you here to Michael Carlisle. And Michael chose national training because our program would provide him with the most behind-the-wheel driving time. And while in school, Michael received 4 serious job offers for employment. And that was even before he graduated. Here's Mark Albert. I like Mark's story because he's kind of a guy like me. He was a former insurance salesman. He was a manager in a factory, and he didn't want to sit behind the desk anymore. He had enough. He chose national training because of our great reputation with a professional admissions team and our location. And, I thought that was kind of odd, the location. Then I found out that Mark came from Keene, New Hampshire. He came down, Rob, last January. It was 2 degrees in Keene, New Hampshire, and here in Jacksonville it was like 70.
Wow.
So he kind of enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Here's Marissa Giles, and Marissa Giles we're very proud of, and she is a former United States Marine, 20-plus years retired. And our training format allowed her to train for her new career while she was still on active duty. And we have graduated many, many military veterans over the past 20 years. And of course, we thank Marissa for her service.
Andrew, I'd just like to add one thing. I'm very proud this week. I enrolled a young man. I enrolled his father in 1992, and I just enrolled him this week, and the son. And, that's 21 years ago. It's unbelievable, but
wow.
He still had my card stuck away, I guess. It's funny.
Wow, that is phenomenal, Rob. And I know that there was one family. You have 3 generations that you've
Yes, very proud of that.
That's
and this,
pretty...
of course, is our career services, and we've been perfecting this over 33 years, and it does work. There's no two ways about it. It's designed that the department starts working with us on the very first day of resident training. All these other, what Andrew was talking, mom and pop schools, they're like in the middle or toward the end. We want to know everything about you the first day, so we start guiding you out to the companies that you would like to go with, whether it's regional, over-the-road, dedicated, it doesn't make any difference. The placement process, we use the one-on-one processing, counseling sessions to direct our students to companies that would be a good match for both the companies and the student. I hear some of these schools will have 1 or 2, 3 companies that will accept their students, and they're over the road right away, and they don't know how long they're going to be there and what they're going to make. It's not really a happy moment. I've had a lot of students I enrolled who came back from the other schools for that reason.
Yep. Rob, I get this question all the time, where do I stay? And the simple answer is you can stay anywhere you want. But if you're looking for the best deal, we suggest the Green Cove Springs Inn. It's located within 7 miles from the training grounds. And, they got a nice website. You can go look at that. But what they do for national training students is we have a special deal with them. They split half their rooms to double occupancy. So you share a room with another student. There's a refrigerator, microwave, air conditioner, TV, telephone, free local and long-distance calls, free Wi-Fi. They even put barbecue grills, charcoal grills out in the back, Rob, and they do it for $23 a night. So if you're there for the 3 weeks, including the weekends, it's only $420.
Wow, great.
Now, there's also a way now, they kind of spiced it up a little bit, and if somebody wants to ask me at the end, there's a way to get that for free. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Let's talk about the cost, the fees, about financing, and all that good stuff. You want to have your paper and pencil out. We already talked about the program under $6,000. We talk about value, and value as a noun, the worth in goods, services, or money, an object, or a person. Does job security have value? Think about that for a second. What value does health benefits for you and your family hold for you? Is that value? What's that steady income worth to you and your family? Do you want the necessities of life today for you and your family? What's that worth? What's the value? Have you ever invested in anything? The real estate, the stock market, maybe you bought a house, thinking that's where the money was going to be for the retirement. What is the only safe investment? Raise your hand if you know what the safest investment is. That's right. It's you. It's absolutely you. Quality education doesn't cost. It pays. It brings you that steady income, that lifetime full of benefits, the job security, the independent lifestyle, the opportunity for advancement, you get to see the country, get paid to do it, the retirement, plus you get to travel. phenomenal. National's training cost is very affordable. Depending upon the individual's needs and qualifications, the tuition cost is about the same as a semester of college. Okay? If we just took, lower numbers than what Schneider was talking about, let's just say you made $50,000 a year, and you did that for 20 years, you would have earned over $1 million. That's a good investment, isn't it?
That's a good investment.
With an initial investment of really not much money at all. Let me give you an example of one with some guys' wish list, some girls' wish list. Fast cars, fast motorcycles. I'm getting to that age when I want to go out and do something crazy, so I started looking at motorcycles. I found this 2013 Gold Ring, Rob. $22,000, $23,000 when all was said and done. And then I got to thinking about, depreciation. I ride it off the lot. What's it going to be worth the next day? What's it going to be worth a week from then, a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now? So I went to the Kelly book there, and I found the 2008 Gold Wing, identical looking bike except for the color, $5,400. Less than 1 year's depreciation. I could have gone to truck driving school and made that money. Take a look at this Corvette 2012 Z6, $93,000 car. 5 years go by, less than 1 month's depreciation. I could have gone to truck driving school. It's all good. We have it all. After all, we've been doing this for a very, very long time. We have the companies and we have the jobs. We have the industry recognition. We have impeccable governmental relations. We have guaranteed tuition financing for everyone. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. We have 34,000 graduates that came here possibly before you tonight. We have a program that's really fun to complete. And we have an awesome, awesome training facility. We have extra benefits for our fighting men and women. We also have special tuition pricing for active duty. We accept tuition assistance as well. We appreciate all of our students from the VA, post 9/11 GI Bill, Montgomery GI Bill, the Department of Vocational Rehab, the state voc rehabs from around the country, the state workforce offices from around the country, and all of the Bureau of Indian Affairs from around the country. These are all programs that can help go through school. But remember, guaranteed financing. How many people, just by a show of hands, are worried about maybe getting a job? Go ahead and raise your hand. Everybody with their hand up, I'm going to give you a free pre-hire. It's called an employer trend. I'm going to take these 23 different companies. I'm going to add Schneider just as a bonus to this as well. And everybody with their hand up, at the end of the webinar tonight, there's a survey. In the thank you letter, there'll be a pre-hire link. They're going to ask you 10 questions. I want you to answer those 10 questions, and then I'm going to put you through the computer. We're going to run you against the hiring practices of these 23 companies plus Schneider, and I'm going to give you a percentage of how many of those companies would hire you based upon your answers. 1-800-488-7364. How many of you have gone the community college route in search of a better way, and how did that work out for you? Raise your hand if any of these things are you. It was great. I achieved my goals. I became comfortably employed. I learned they offered all types of classes, but none of the offerings were fit for me. Just go ahead and leave the hands up. I met a number of other people who were in class that had the same strategy as me. Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and put those hands down. Terrific. Let's do another one of those. They're kind of fun. How many of you have student loan debt to pay from classes and training that didn't pan out? Raise your hand if any of these questions are you. I was not able to devote so many months to classes. It was not for me, and I quickly felt it was not a good investment of my time and my resources. You know, the money. All right, I'm going to put those hands down. Quite a few there. One more, Rob?
You do one more. They're good.
All right. Have you investigated other training options that were meant to start you in the trucking industry? I looked into other commercial driving schools and felt the curriculum that they offered was just not a good value. Raise your hand. I received multiple training in the military, but found out that transferring that experience to the civilian trucking industry was difficult to do. Just leave the hands up. I had an expensive, bad experience lesson when I signed up for the free training from the so-called reputable trucking company that claimed they needed drivers from a blind ad in the newspaper or on the internet. Or is this the first training option that you've investigated? Go ahead and raise those hands. Great. Okay. All right, let's open up the phone lines. I see some questions on here already. Clifton says, Andrew, I'm 6 foot, 140 pounds. Am I too small to drive a truck?
Oh,
Too many skinny guys on the road. Well, you should have seen me, Clifton, before I started. No. You'll be just fine. We got a lot of skinny guys.
oh no.
Going through the school. Not a problem at all. Clifton.
No, not really. It's usually the opposite. that's otherwise.
Well, Rob, you're a pretty skinny guy.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I drove, but you know, the thing of it is, as long as you remember what we said, as long as you can pass that test, that DOT physical, the drug test, you're fine. Hey, great. Look at the little girls we get in there. Well, we've got some in there.
Yeah, I got a little 5'2" girl in there right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
She's doing terrific, and
no problem. Those
another
seats
girl,
adjust all different ways.
I had another girl who was 4'9". She couldn't have weighed more than 90 pounds.
Wow.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All right, a couple of announcements. Next week, Covenant Transport is going to be our guest.
Great.
Next Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m. Sheila's been gone now for 6 weeks. We haven't had her around. So next week will be Covenant Transport. We have open house this Saturday, and this is going to be huge. Clifton and William, I'll tell you, if you haven't come to an open house, I know you guys are up there, Tallahassee or that area, it's worth the trip.
Sure.
It's worth the trip. We're going to have Windy Hill.
Oh, Windy Hill's coming. They're big.
Windy Hill is going to be there, and
is it the one from Jacksonville?
No, the guy that was there last time, he wanted to come back. Cypress.
Oh, Cypress, yeah. They're out of Jacksonville.
Cypress Trucking. Yep, Cypress Trucking are going to be there.
Okay.
We never know, and we never know what students are going to show up with their truck.
Normally, at our training sessions, folks, we usually have 5 or 6 different companies come. They're all diversified, local, regional, over the road, everything. It's kind of neat.
And it's always great when we get somebody to bring their truck there where you can actually climb up in it.
Right.
But Rob, we're gonna put everybody up in a truck anyway and take them
Anyway,
around.
they're going to be doing some driving. They're going to be doing some eating. They're going to be doing great barbecue. It's going to be a fun time. It's 9:30. Get there between 9 and 9:30. We're going to have a little get together with the different companies. They're going to talk about themselves, and then out there to the 1.25-mile roadway, get in behind the wheel, and you actually will be driving. But when the top instructors,
you know what I like about it too. What I like about it too, Rob, is that we have a live class there. So
yeah,
we actually have
great.
lunch. We have lunch with the current class.
Right.
So you can talk to the current class. You can also talk to the instructors. You can talk to
yeah, as well as the
talk to
guys
recruiters from the
the
different
recruiters,
trucking companies. And I know that you put together a special.
There is going to be an exceptional special, and we're not going to talk about it now, but it's sort of a surprise special.
But you got to be there to get it. You got to be there to get it.
The only way you can do it. That's exactly right. Yeah, should be real neat.
All right.
Everybody's going to have a ball.
Well, it's definitely worth your while. I want to thank everybody for. Okay, it looks like Clifton and William are going to try to make the thing on the 14th. That's great.
Wonderful.
Look forward to seeing you. Those guys have been, I think, for the past 5 or 6 weeks, have come on and listened to a lot of great companies. So that's great. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I especially want to thank Aura Kerr with Schneider National. She always does such a great job of talking about Schneider and representing. And, she is so great with the military. That's where I met her at a job fair up in North Carolina. Rob Nelson, I want to thank you for hosting tonight.
Enjoyed being here with everybody. Hope to see you guys, everybody, if you can make it this coming Saturday, for sure.
Okay, Neil Thaggart is also going to come out on Saturday. So
Wonderful.
Great, Neil. Look forward to seeing you as well. Remember, contact your representative or our admissions office first thing tomorrow morning. Neil, you definitely want to talk to somebody to figure out which program you should be in. Your lost time is costing you big money. It's all good. Just make sure you call. Rob, you want to tell everybody how to get out of the webinar tonight?
Absolutely. We'll go to number 2 there, just file, just hit their pointer right on that, and then we'll drop down to exit, leave webinar, and folks, it'll take you right out. It's real smooth, and you'll do well. And good having you, and hope to see you on Saturday if you can make it.
Terrific, terrific. And thank you for all the nice compliments and comments on the question board, everybody. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, you got rid of them pretty quick tonight, Rob.
That was great. What happened? I don't know. Nobody was hanging in there. But
Yeah, that's
it
okay.
was good. It was good. We got a good run tonight.
All right.